After the Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Justice League returned. Amanda Waller, now working with a secret group called The Light, believed superheroes were too powerful. She sent Peacemaker to find a dangerous weapon called the Helmet of Hate. Waller also hired villains to hunt and kill superheroes, creating a big threat for heroes everywhere. With the Justice League taking a break, the Titans, led by Nightwing, became the main superhero team. They rebuilt their base, Titan's Tower in Bloodhaven, ready to protect the world. This era is special because it lets newer heroes step up while tackling big challenges. Fans love the fresh focus and exciting stories, making it one of the best times in DC Comics.
The instruments in the watchtower picked up this anomaly a few hours ago.
Batman, it's really you.
Am I missing something?
This era kicked off with DC's reboot called The New 52, which gave the Justice League a smooth, updated vibe. The heroes included in this are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Cyborg. Justice League, origin by Jeff Johns. It's basically their Avengers Assemble moment, showing how they came together to fight off an alien invasion.
Whoa. Yeah, Beetle taught me that one.
Adding Cyborg, whose real name is Victor Stone, to the Justice League in the New 52 was a significant change by DC Comics. Traditionally, Cyborg was a core member of the Teen Titans, often working alongside heroes like Robin, Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven. In the New 52, he joined Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Green Lantern Hal Jordan as a founding member of the Justice League. This shift gave the League a more modern and relatable feel. Cyborg's abilities, advanced technology integration, hacking systems, and creating powerful weapons made him essential in handling high-tech threats like the invasion led by Darkseid in Justice League. Origin. Cyborg's internal struggle between his human emotions and his mechanical body added emotional depth to the team, complementing Superman's leadership, Batman's strategy, and Wonder Woman's warrior mindset. His presence also made the Justice League more diverse, appealing to a wider audience. But some fans argue that Cyborg fits better with the Teen Titans, where his youthful energy and bond with heroes like Starfire and Beast Boy were central to his story. Still, as part of the League, Cyborg showed his growth as a hero capable of taking on bigger threats and responsibilities. So, do you think adding Cyborg to the League was a solid move, or does he fit better in the Teen Titans?
You're right. 5-minute head start.
5 minutes? Are you kidding?
4 minutes, 50 seconds.
The animated era of the Justice League, from 2001 to 2006, is widely considered one of the best versions of the team ever created, and for good reason. With Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Wally West, Green Lantern John Stewart, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter as the core heroes, this era brought together an unforgettable mix of personalities. The chemistry between the characters was unmatched. Wally's jokes balanced John's serious attitude, while Batman's strategic mind paired perfectly with Superman's strength and leadership. Every hero had their distinct role and personality, making the team feel dynamic and real. What really set this era apart was the storytelling. The Justice League series laid the foundation with epic battles and well-rounded character development. Then, Justice League Unlimited took it up a notch, expanding the roster to include heroes like Green Arrow, Zatanna, and Question. This made the universe feel massive while still giving everyone their moment to shine. Whether it was Batman outsmarting powerful gods or Hawkgirl grappling with her loyalty to the team versus her own people, every story was filled with suspense. The highlight of this era was the Starcross storyline, where Hawkgirl's betrayal stunned fans. Her conflict between her duty to her home planet and her loyalty to the League created some of the most emotional and shocking moments in the series. If I had to add one hero to this team, it would be Black Canary. Her martial arts skills, sharp mind, and strong personality would bring another layer to the team. She could match Batman's grit, challenge Wally's jokes, and stand out as a grounded human hero among the gods. This era of the Justice League is the best because it showed how a team of heroes could feel both larger than life and relatable at the same time. What do you think made this version of the Justice League so special? The Justice League Detroit era was a bold experiment in the history of the Justice League. It began in Justice League of America Annual Number 2 in 1984 and lasted until 1986. This version of the team was very different from what fans were used to. Unlike the original Justice League, which included famous heroes like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, the Detroit team featured lesser-known and newer characters. The roster included Vixen, a hero who could copy the abilities of animals, Vibe, a Latino hero with powers to create shockwaves, Gypsy, a young Romani girl who could create illusions, and Steel, a cybernetically enhanced strongman. The only original Justice League member who stayed was Martian Manhunter, who acted as the leader and mentor to the team. This lineup was younger, more diverse, and less tied to the big names that fans associated with the league. The creators wanted to move away from the complicated backstories of the bigger heroes and focus on character-driven storytelling. They also wanted the team to feel younger and more relatable, like other popular comic teams of the time, such as the Teen Titans and X-Men. With fresh faces, the writers had more freedom to explore their growth and struggles. One standout feature of this team was its diversity. For the first time, the Justice League included heroes from different cultural backgrounds. Vixen represented Black superheroes, Vibe brought Latino representation, and Gypsy was a Romani character. This made the team feel modern and inclusive. The focus on smaller, personal stories instead of massive world-saving missions also set this team apart. Fans could connect with the characters on a deeper level as they faced challenges and grew as individuals. The team wasn't without flaws. While the creators tried to highlight diversity, some characters were written using stereotypes, especially Vibe and Gypsy. The writers later admitted they could have done better in portraying these heroes respectfully. Another issue was the absence of iconic Justice League members. Many fans missed the presence of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, which made this version of the team feel less powerful and important. As a result, the team struggled to gain the same level of popularity as the original Justice League. The Justice League Detroit team only lasted for about 2 years before being disbanded. In 1986, the League returned to a more traditional lineup with its classic heroes. While the Detroit era wasn't as successful as other versions of the Justice League, it's remembered as an interesting attempt to try something different. It laid the groundwork for exploring diversity and character-driven stories in future teams. The Justice League International era from 1987 to 1996 is one of the most unique and beloved times for the League. And why? Because it brought humor and personality to the forefront. The core team during this time included Batman, Martian Manhunter, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Black Canary. What made this era stand out was how the League wasn't just about fighting world-ending threats, but also about showing the fun side of being a superhero. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle had this hilarious bromance, often making jokes and pulling pranks on each other. Meanwhile, Guy Gardner was known for his sassy attitude, and there's a classic moment where Batman knocks him out with one punch to remind him who's in charge. Apart from that, this era felt more human. The heroes weren't perfect or always serious. They had flaws and personal struggles that made them more relatable. The stakes weren't always as high as other times, but the stories were character-driven and gave us a chance to see the heroes interact in ways that felt real. For example, Batman's "I'm the boss" attitude always kept the team in check, but it also gave us those funny moments where the heroes didn't take themselves too seriously. One of the highlight storylines was the secret gospel of Maxwell Lord, which mixed comedy with intelligence. Maxwell Lord, the villain, secretly controlled the League from behind the scenes, pulling the strings in a very sneaky way. It made it more fun than the usual superhero battles. So, would you rather have a funny Justice League or a serious one? If you ask me, a balance is key, but when the story needs to be serious, the League can still rise to the occasion. Do you think having absurdity in a team like the Justice League makes them more relatable, or should they stick to being the serious, world-saving heroes we know them to be? The Bronze Age of the Justice League from the 1970s to the 1980s was a time of big changes and exciting stories. This era is known as the Satellite Era, where the Justice League operated from a satellite in space. The core team was bigger than ever, including classic heroes like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and even more members joining over time. Why was this era so great? First, it had that best superhero vibe, big, cosmic threats that felt so magical. The team faced villains who threatened entire worlds, making the risks feel incredibly high. At the same time, the characters had colorful costumes and powerful abilities, making them feel like true icons. What also made this era stand out was the diversity of powers and skills on the team. Heroes like Zatanna, a magician, and Black Canary, a martial artist, brought unique abilities that added a fresh dynamic to the group. While Superman and Wonder Woman were super strong, Zatanna's magic and Black Canary's combat skills gave the League a well-rounded team that could handle almost anything. But it wasn't all just about punching villains. The Bronze Age Justice League started taking on bigger, more serious issues such as racism and environmentalism. These topics added depth to the stories, showing that superheroes were fighting for more than just the safety of the world. They were fighting for social change as well. One of the biggest storylines during this time was Crisis on Earth-1, where the Justice League teamed up with the Justice Society of America, a team of heroes from another Earth in the multiverse. This crossover event introduced the idea of parallel universes, which would go on to become a huge part of DC's storytelling in the future. So, do you think that the Justice League works better with a smaller or larger team? Because a smaller team can be more focused, with each member playing a clear role and having more moments to shine. Think about the New 52 era, where the League was smaller but had strong chemistry. But a larger team, like in the Satellite Era, allows for a mix of powers, personalities, and skills that make the team feel real force to be reckoned with. Plus, it's fun to see how so many different heroes interact with one another, creating more interesting dynamics. Do you think their stories were better when they took on serious issues? Or do you enjoy them more when they're just saving the world from supervillains? The Silver Age of the Justice League from the 1960s is the original team that started everything we know and love about the League today. This era featured the core 7 heroes: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Barry Allen, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman. This was the time when the Justice League really formed its identity as a team and began its legendary journey. First of all, it was all about teamwork. The Justice League was one of the first superhero teams to work together in a way that showed how they all had unique strengths that made them better when combined. They were powerful individuals, but together they could take on threats no single hero could handle. These stories were also simple and action-packed, perfect for those classic comic vibes. The plots didn't waste time. They jumped right into big, thrilling battles with colorful villains and superpowered moments. This era also set the foundation for everything we love about the Justice League today. From the dynamic between Superman's leadership and Batman's strategy to Wonder Woman's strength and Martian Manhunter's wisdom, the team's chemistry was perfect. These characters have become so iconic, and this is where they all started working together as a team. Now, the highlight storyline from this time was the Brave and the Bold number 28, where the Justice League first came together to fight a villain named Starro the Conqueror, yes, a giant alien starfish. It's definitely one of the more unique villain choices in comic history. Well, at the time, Starro was pretty epic in its own way. He was a huge alien threat that could control people's minds by attaching his starfish minions to their faces. But today, looking back, it can seem a little goofy. After all, a giant starfish as a villain is a bit on the strange side. But that's also what makes the Silver Age so special. The stories were sometimes fun, but the team still faced serious challenges. This era gave birth to many of the iconic characters who would later form the Justice League. During the Golden Age, the Justice Society of America (JSA) was the first superhero team to unite, featuring Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Jay Garrick, Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Hawkman, and others. The JSA was a huge influence on the creation of the Justice League in the Silver Age. In fact, many stories of the Justice League's formation were inspired by the success of this team. The Golden Age was the foundation for everything that followed, establishing the blueprint for superhero teams and introducing the idea of heroes teaming up. The stakes were smaller compared to later eras, but it gave the heroes a place to develop their characters and team subtleties. Plus, it was when we saw the first ever team-up stories, which would later influence Justice League's approach to team-based storytelling. The Golden Age also saw the rise of the very first superhero comics, and it played a pivotal role in shaping the comic book industry as a whole. While the Justice Society of America wasn't the Justice League, it helped establish the idea that superheroes could work together to challenge bigger threats. Characters like Superman and Batman were already household names, and their team-ups in the JSA stories were some of the earliest examples of superheroes fighting alongside one another. These stories set the stage for the superhero team dynamic that would later become a hallmark of the Justice League in the Silver Age and beyond. If you're into the roots of superhero teams, this era is essential. So, which era of the Justice League is the best? It really depends on what you're looking for. I think the animated era takes the crown for its perfect balance of everything action, humor, and teamwork. And when it comes to heroes, Batman is always the one who steals the show, no matter the era, right? Tell me which era stands out to you, and which hero takes your top spot. And hit the subscribe button if you liked this video.